Okay, let's unpack this massive and, let's be honest, often frustrating topic.
Yeah.
Search engine optimization,
Yeah,
SEO.
right.
For so long, people have treated it like this secret alchemy.
Yeah.
But the truth, and we're getting this straight from Google's official guide, is much, much simpler.
It really is. It's not about finding some hidden backdoor to get to the top spot.
So what are we doing today?
We are diving deep into the official Google SEO Starter Guide, and the document makes it so clear. The core mission of SEO is really two things. First, helping the automated search engines understand your content.
Okay.
And second, helping users find your site and then make an informed decision about whether they should even click.
So our mission for you, the listener, is to just cut through all of that noise. We want to give you a clear-cut strategy to make your site eligible to appear in Google search and then, dramatically improve its presence.
And we're using the blueprint from the people who actually run the search engine.
Which brings us to the reality check. The big one.
The big one. The source says it right up front, and this is so important to internalize. There are no secrets that automatically rank your site first.
None.
Zero. The focus is purely on straightforward best practices. That's it. Things that help all search engines crawl, index, and fully understand your content.
I find that so sobering. I mean, if it's all just best practices and not magic, why do people spend fortunes on SEO agencies?
Because the quote-unquote secret isn't a magic bullet. It's flawless execution, consistency, and time.
Time.
Yeah, Google is a fully automated search engine. It uses these programs called crawlers to just constantly explore the web, looking for pages to add to its index.
Whoa.
The vast majority of sites are found and added automatically just by being published and existing.
And if you make a change, say you fix a typo or update an image, that doesn't just show up instantly in the search results, which I know causes so much anxiety for people.
Oh, absolutely. And that's where the key time frame warning comes in. Any change you make will take time to reflect. It could be a few hours for small fix, or it could be several months for big content shifts. The official advice is you should wait a few weeks to really assess if your work had a beneficial effect.
If you change things too fast, you won't know what actually worked.
You'll have no idea.
Okay, let's get into part one, the technical floor. I mean, helping Google actually find and see your content. Before we even think about writing amazing articles, the first critical step is just checking if Google even knows your site exists.
That's your first actionable check. It's super simple. You use the site.search operator. You just type site followed by your URL into Google.
And if you see results,
You're in the index. You might not need to do anything at all. But if you're not there or you have new pages, the main way Google finds them is through links from other pages it's already crawled.
so links aren't just for ranking. They're literally the road signs leading the crawler to your door.
Exactly. They are the foundational discovery mechanism. It happens naturally over time, but you can encourage it by promoting your site.
And what about sitemaps? I hear about those a lot.
Yeah, you can submit a sitemap, which is just a file with all your URLs. But honestly, for most smaller sites, your CMS probably handles this already. Your time is better spent getting those first few links.
Okay, so once Google finds the URL, it needs to be able to see it, like a human user sees it. And this is where modern web design, with all its JavaScript and CSS, can get tricky, right?
This is maybe the most critical technical check.
Hey.
You have to grant Google access to all your resources like CSS and JavaScript. If you block those files,
What happens?
well, if the crawler can't process them, it doesn't see your beautiful interactive page. It might just see a blank container or just some raw, unstyled text.
So if your main content is loaded by that blocked JavaScript,
Google just can't index it or rank it. The whole effort fails right there.
which really underlines that the user's view needs to be Google's view. And we should probably mention, the crawler's location is generally the US. That could matter if your content changes based on where someone is.
Good point. But the good news is you don't have to guess. There's a tool for this. The URL inspection tool in Search Console is basically your window into the crawler's brain. You can see exactly what it saw.
And on the flip side, you can also tell it what not to look at.
Right. If you have, those posts about your new embarrassing haircut you don't want showing up, Google lets you explicitly opt out certain URLs from being crawled and indexed.
Okay, so Google can find us and read us. Let's move to part two, site structure and clarity. This is about organization for both the user and the search engine.
And while Google is, it's incredibly sophisticated and will probably figure out your pages anyway, a good structure just helps everyone in the long run, especially as your site gets bigger.
A huge piece of that seems to be descriptive URLs. I love that the guide talks about how URLs feed into breadcrumbs in the search results. That little thing helps users decide if they should click before they even visit.
Absolutely. Just contrast a helpful URL like example.compasscats.html with some random one full of numbers and letters. Clarity builds trust.
It really does.
And for big sites with thousands of pages, using directories to group topics can actually help Google learn different crawling frequencies.
Crawling frequencies, how does that work?
Well, think about it this way. The content in your policies folder probably changes, once a year. So Google learns to crawl it rarely.
Okay.
But the content in your promotions folder might change every week. By grouping them, you help Google prioritize its resources on the stuff that actually changes often. It's just more efficient.
That makes perfect sense. And that brings us to the big one, the great SEO bugbear. Duplicate content. It causes so much panic.
This is a perfect example of separating fact from fear. The guide is very, very clear on this.
Which is?
Having duplicate content is not a violation of their spam policies. You are not penalized for it.
So the panic is real, but the consequence is just inefficiency, not a punishment.
Exactly. It's a bad user experience, and it wastes the search engine's resources, but you're not getting in trouble for it. The engine just has to pick one version to show people, the canonical URL.
And sometimes it guesses wrong.
It can. So the best fix is just to make sure each piece of content only lives at one URL. You can use a redirect, or if you can't do that, there's a thing called the rel canonical link element to tell Google which one you prefer.
Got it. Okay, on to part 3. Content and linking. This is the big one. The highest impact factor. Everything else is the infrastructure. This is the engine.
That's right. The guide basically says creating content that people find compelling and useful will likely influence your site more than any other single suggestion. If the content isn't good, no amount of technical polish is going to save it.
So what does Google consider good content? What are they looking for?
It all comes down to the user experience. Is it easy to read, well-organized, free of mistakes?
Breaking up those giant walls of text with paragraphs and headings.
Yes. And critically, is the content unique? Don't just copy or rehash what someone else already published. Create it yourself. The web doesn't need another generic article on the same topic.
I love that the guide also emphasizes currency and reliability.
Yeah, it has to be up to date and helpful. It actually advises providing expert or experienced sources to help readers understand an article's expertise. You have to treat your site like a curated library that needs constant attention.
And we also need to anticipate what users are actually searching for, right? Not just the terms we think are important.
Right. You might have an expert searching for charcuterie, while a beginner is searching for cheese board. Writing with both in mind can help.
But you don't have to guess every single variation.
No, thankfully. Google's language matching is super sophisticated now. It can understand how your page relates to a query even if you don't use the exact words.
One last thing on user experience. The guide warns against distracting ads, specifically those interstitial pages, the pop-ups.
Yeah, those full-page ads that block the content you actually click to see. They're a frustrating roadblock. If users get annoyed, they leave, and that's a bad signal.
Let's talk about links again. Beyond just discovery, how do they relate to content value?
Links add value by connecting users and Google to other resources that can corroborate what you're saying. They build an ecosystem of trust.
And the actual text of the link, the anchor text, that's important too.
It is. Descriptive anchor text like, read the history of charcuterie boards, helps users and Google understand the page before they even click. But the critical guidance here is about trust. Make sure you trust the sites you link to.
And if you can't, like in the user comments section, that's where nofollow comes in.
Precisely. You use a nofollow annotation to tell search engines not to associate your site with that external one. You're basically saying, hey, here's a link, but this is not an endorsement.
Okay, moving to part 4, controlling appearance in media. Now that the technical floor is solid and the content is great, let's talk about curb appeal, how to influence what the user sees before they click.
Right, the storefront. You can really influence two main things, the title link and the snippet. The title link is that bold blue headline in the search result.
And good titles need to be unique for every page, clear and concise.
Yes, and they should accurately describe the content. You can include your website name, maybe your business location, things that help users decide quickly.
And then there's this snippet, the little description underneath.
Which is usually pulled from the page content or sometimes from the meta description tag. A good meta description is like a short punchy advertisement for your content. It has to give the user a reason to click your result.
And this optimization goes beyond just text, right? Visual search is huge.
It is. Use high-quality, sharp images, and this is key. Place them near relevant text to give them context.
So if you're reviewing a shop, put the photo of the shop right next to the review text.
Exactly. And alt text, that descriptive text that explains the image, is still incredibly important for accessibility and for search engines.
Same principles for video.
Same principles. High-quality video embedded near relevant text with a descriptive title and description. Context is always king.
Okay, that's what the machines see. But what about human eyes? How do we get people to our site faster?
That's where promotion comes in. Effective promotion leads to faster discovery by interested users and by search engines. You know, social media, community engagement, advertising.
But the guide points to one method as the most effective.
Word of mouth. That's the one. It takes time, and you usually have to invest in other things first, like engaging with the community. But lasting success comes when people who know your site are compelled to tell their friends about it.
That organic recommendation is gold.
It is. But the guide also offers a little caution. Don't overdo it. People get fatigued, and some extreme promotion can look like you're trying to manipulate search results, which you definitely want to avoid.
Okay, now for the fun part, part 5. Debunking the myths. Let's separate modern SEO reality from all the outdated ideas. This is where we save you time and anxiety.
Let's start with a big time waster. Meta keywords. Google search does not use the keywords meta tag. You can completely ignore it.
A total relic. And speaking of outdated, myth number 2, keyword stuffing.
Ugh. Excessively repeating words is just tiring for users, and it's explicitly against Google's spam policies. It was just awful to read.
Myth 3, keywords in your domain name.
Yeah, that has hardly any effect on ranking anymore. Focus on good marketing for your business name, not stuffing keywords into the URL.
And what about the ending, like .com versus .guru?
It only matters if you're targeting a specific country, and even then it's a small signal. Otherwise, Google search doesn't care.
Myth 4, content length. I still hear people swear by a 2,000-word minimum.
The length alone doesn't matter. There's no magic word count. Just write what's necessary to answer the user's question completely. If that's 300 words, great. If it's 5,000, that's fine too.
Okay, let's tackle a few of the more technical myths. The foundational algorithm, PageRank.
PageRank is still fundamental. It still uses links, but the source is very clear. It is only one of many, many ranking signals. There is so much more research now than just links.
And that scary duplicate content penalty?
To be super clear, if your content is on multiple URLs on your own site, it's inefficient, but it does not cause a manual penalty. Now, if you're copying content from other sites, that's a whole different problem. That's a copyright issue.
Okay, and heading order. I have to admit, hearing from Google that heading order doesn't matter is kind of shocking. Developers spend so much time on H1, H2 structure.
Well, semantic order is fantastic for screen readers and accessibility. You should still do it. But from a pure Google search perspective, it doesn't matter if you use them out of order. They just can't rely on perfect HTML for ranking.
And finally, the big one, EEAT. Expertise, experience, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. So much confusion here.
Right. It's heavily emphasized in the quality rater guidelines, which are for the human reviewers. People confuse the instructions for humans with the automated signals the algorithm uses. EEAT is a concept for quality. It is not a direct ranking factor.
So to recap this whole deep dive, it seems like successful SEO is this balance between user-focused content creation, unique, high-quality stuff, and just fundamental technical hygiene.
It's a unified approach, not a checklist of 50 different secrets.
So what's the next step for our listener?
Your next step should be to get started with Search Console immediately, if you haven't. It lets you monitor and optimize how your site performs. Once you have the basics down, then you can think about advanced topics like multilingual sites or structured data.
It's just fascinating how much of this official guide really centers on common sense and just good communication, making something valuable for humans.
It really does. And the source emphasizes that the most effective, the most lasting form of promotion is word of mouth. So while SEO is about optimizing for machines, the real measure of success is still creating something so compelling that a person is driven to share it.
So here's the final provocative thought we'll leave you with. If links are the main way Google finds new pages, and word of mouth is the most effective way to gain visibility, what truly defines a successful website? Automated discovery by a machine, or organic trust built through human recommendation?